Hi, this is Dina with Pretty Productive. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are new here, I appreciate you coming along for the journey. Please consider subscribing and hit the alert for future videos. Today what I'm going to be doing is a September week 1 check-in. If you have been following along on my channel for the month of September, I am getting ready to go on a trip. Looks like the trip is going, fingers crossed, we're 2 days out. So I did my budget a little differently this time as far as my check-ins and things like that. So let's go ahead and get started. These are the envelopes that I've been carrying around in my wallet, and this is working really well. I kind of went back to the envelopes versus my July or August where I just kind of put the money all together. I did some work in my sinking funds too, and I'll show you kind of what I did with those. But let's go ahead and get started first with the budget sheet, because my last of my bills have come through that were my variable ones that I wasn't sure on. Let me just put that like that. So for, excuse me, I don't know what is wrong with me today. My allergies are crazy. So I had budgeted $400 for electricity. It came in at $290. So that was an upside to my budget for $110, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. Natural gas, I had budgeted $25. It came in at $20, so I had an upside of $5. And then everything else came in as expected. Auto insurance, we are picking up the car tomorrow, our new car, so I don't know what's going to happen here. I might see it in my October budget. I might need to pay additional this month. So I'm just going to leave that, my actual blank, until I find out exactly what's going to happen with my car insurance with another car on there. So that all worked out well. And then for my transactions this month, oh my God, this week, well, this month so far, I should say, I didn't have a lot, surprisingly. One, I think that I've pretty much put myself in a bubble until I leave, because I did go out to dinner with somebody the other night, and then she called and told me she had tested positive for COVID and she was vaccinated. I did wear my mask. We social distance as much as you can across my table. But I did the rapid test. I am negative, so I was like, I just saw the whole trip falling apart in front of my eyes and I wanted to cry. But again, not her fault. She was vaccinated. She was super careful. She just was around somebody who had it. So so that's that. So as of right now, I am leaving on Wednesday. Again, fingers crossed. So let's look at transactions. So I know I said in my setup video that I put $200 in clothes, but I didn't need anything, and I spent $100 right away. So clothing is really considered a sinking fund for me. So I spent $100. So I have currently $100 left, but I'm not going to finalize that till the end of the month. So clothing, $100. For gas, I had 2 transactions, $10, because I had to put gas in my loaner car before I give it back, and then $39. So $49. Don't need I need a calculator for that. 39. So my budget for the month is 100 minus 49. I still have 51. I might go over just because when we pick up the car, I'm sure they're not going to give it to us with a full tank. I'll probably have to put gas in. For groceries, I had one transaction, Costco for $84. So I started with 400 minus 84, 316. Now any money that I spend Monday or Tuesday of this week will go into next week's, or the 2 weeks check-in, because I'm going to take my envelopes out of my wallet on Tuesday night and lock them in the safe. So whatever I spend between now and then will go into my next check-in. For eating out, we only had one, and that was Arby's for $13. When I say that I'm putting myself in a bubble, like my husband's like, let's go out to dinner. I'm like, nope, there's people out there. I'm staying in. So literally ran through the drive-thru and grabbed Arby's. Now I am gonna go see my mom today, but I always wear my mask there and I don't worry about that. They're all vaccinated. So for allowance, I used it once. Sonic for $9. And just so you know, like when I'm by myself and I grab food, I usually take it out of my allowance versus when it's my husband and I or myself and my daughters, I'll take that out of eating out just because I feel like if I'm gonna run through Sonic to grab a drink or something, then it should come out of my spending money, not the total category of eating out. And then household, I did not spend anything, so I still have 60. Entertainment, I did not spend anything, so there's 50. Personal care, I had one transaction for my brows, and that was $26. Now I am getting a manicure and a pedicure tomorrow, but that will go into my next check-in, so I had one expense of $26. So 100 minus 26, 74 remaining. Now I do have 2 gift cards for my pedicure and manicure, but I'll need money for tip, and then my daughter is going with me, so I'll probably pay for part of hers too. And then miscellaneous, I have not spent anything. So I still have $100 and nothing out of unbudgeted. So overall, a pretty good week. Where did I put church at? So I'm gonna put giving here because it did not go into, I do give online, so my budget was $400. No, it was not. Only home 2 Sundays this month. It was $200, and I spent $100. So, oh my gosh, I swear, I am on overload, guys. I apologize. I have not slept well, and then I got up and took sinus stuff this morning, which is making me super loopy. Okay, so giving, my budget was $200, I spent $100. Gas, my budget was $100, I spent $49. Savings challenge, I'm going to put in week 2 today. Clothing, my budget was $200, I spent $100. My mom, her budget was $100, I haven't spent anything. Craft supplies, I know this will surprise you, $100, I haven't spent anything. And medicine, I have not spent anything. So overall, that's where that stands. And then in my variable in expenses, electricity ended up being $290, so that was an upside of $110. Trash and water was already in. Natural gas was $20, so that was an upside of $5. Pest control and HOA are sinking funds, so those were actuals. So that's where everything stands right now. Let's get into savings challenge and sinking funds. So what I did was, I think you saw me struggle with my labels and everything, and that was a hot mess. So that's one of those times where I was really glad that I have a shop, because I had to redo all my labels on my envelopes. So I had originally budgeted $695 for birthdays, and I knew that I had my husband's birthday, my niece's little girl, Mia. Almost happy birthday, Mia. I know she watches. And those were like my two biggest ones. And then I was starting to put aside for my daughter's birthday, that's October 6th. So what I decided to do was I took the $6.95 and I went ahead and separated it into their categories. So for example, my husband's birthday, because he was the big part of this, I went ahead of that $6.95 and put $3.50. So minus $3.50 into his envelope, so that whatever I don't spend will just roll over and start my funding for next year. And then on my daughter's birthday, I haven't started. So my other one, the cars, is my other daughter and her husband. So she, I had started with $77, and then I took another $100 from the $6.95. So she should have 177, 20, 40, 60, 80, 150, 75, 76, 77. So she has 177. So I will actually add more money or take it out of my gifting fund that's in Capital One. And nieces and nephews, since I knew I was going to be spending money for Mia's birthday, I went ahead and put part of this money in here. So minus 150. So that was 50, 70, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So that's 150 of that. So I had 95 left. And that went into what did I do with gifts? Let me just see. Put it in here. Oh, no. Where that went. I gotta get this organized still. I think I'm gonna move some of them around in here. So let me go back to gifts. And I have in here $108. So I had 95 plus 13. So $13 rolled over from last month. After I got my mom's gift and lunch and all that, then I had $13 left in that envelope, and I went ahead and moved it with the 95 that I put in here. So 50, 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 108. And what I kind of did was I started with 695. My rollover was 13. I took 350 for my husband's envelope, 150 for nieces and nephews, and 100 for my daughter. Leaves me with 108 in gifts. I did take the gifting folder out of my wallet since I wasn't going to be getting any more gifts until I come back from my trip. So no need for me to carry that around. Okay, so that's what I did with that category. And then savings challenge this week is September. So this week I'm adding $110. This is a big month for this category. Actually, I think it was the biggest month of the entire year. So this goes back into savings challenge. Actually, I'm going to do 110. I'm going to do the next 2 weeks because I'm going to be gone for next week. 110 and 125. 125. Okay, so I'm going to put this back. So you'll notice all of my envelopes are relabeled, and they're relabeled bigger. No foil because the camera could not focus on it, so it was driving me crazy. So real life struggles. Okay, so I added in the 110 for week 2 and the 125 for week 3. 95, 205, 330. Should be where we're at. I can add up today, so 1, 2, 50, 70, 90, 310, 330, 340. Is that what I said? No, I said 330. 95 plus 110 is 205 plus 125, 330. Okay, maybe I just can't count. 10, 20, 30, 60, 310, 320, 330. I just can't count. All good. Okay, so this goes back into this other binder. And then the other thing I wanted to do, so my back to bank envelope, and there seems like there's a lot in here, and there is, because some of it was clothing. I withdrew money from my account and then ended up not using it. So instead of putting it back, I just threw it back into the back of the bank. So I'll tell you right now what I'm going to do with this. So the 110 that was over for electricity is going to go to electricity, because I use that kind of as a savings for summertime, because my bill normally is much higher than it is right now. So if what I budget based on last year is more than what it actually comes out, then the difference I've been putting into electricity. So I never thought for the month of August or September I would get to add to this, but I'm going to fund 110 and the balance of 110. So let's 110. I need to make really good notes, because next year I'm going to budget based on history, and I don't think I've ever seen a summer this cool in Arizona. So budgeting to history has not been effective right now, which is great because it's so much less. But if I budget for that for next year, then I'm going to be really disappointed because I'm not going to make my budget number. Just turn that around. And then the other thing that I figured I would just go ahead and fund, because I hadn't pulled the money out yet, was fitness. So I had 200 in my account for fitness. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the 200 in now. So 100, 40, 60, 82. And so this one, my goal was 200. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I probably won't add to this until I start spending from this. Okay, so that still leaves me in back to bank 20, 40, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 58. I'm just going to let that sit. I swear I'm going to get these straight this way. So this might end up in rollover at the end of the month, or it just might end up as cash stuffing for the month of October. So these are all right. Those I haven't touched yet. And then just a really quick review to make sure these are right, because I normally keep a pen in here with these, but I forgot to put it in. So groceries should have 41, 20, 30, 41. That is correct. Eating out should have 37. 20, 35, 36, 37. Hope you are all doing really well on your budget. You're having a good Labor Day. Today is Monday the 6th, which is Labor Day in the States. It's weird when I'm not working. It used to be a 2-day holiday for us, so you know, I really look forward to it. Now I'm like, oh yeah. I literally don't know. So spending has 40. It should have 41, but I took $1 out to tip at Starbucks. I do use my gold card. Plus, I was lucky enough to win in Quadima's raffle on her channel, Budget Quadima on a Budget, I think it is. I won $30 in a Starbucks gift card, so I did load that to my gold card, so that was really exciting. Medicine, I have not spent anything. My mom, I have not spent anything. Clothing, I took 100 out and put it in the back to bank, and I still have 100 left. And then personal care, this looks really messy because I took my gift cards for my manicure and pedicure and put them in here. I spent 26. I should have 74 left. So 20, 40, 50, 60, 74. Okay, so that one's right. Okay, I am enjoying going back to the envelopes. The only thing I might do a little differently going forward is I still kind of like that central way of tracking transactions, and then I can update the individual sheets when I do my transactions. I do like that being in one spot, but we'll see how that goes. So that is everything for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you are all doing well, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care.